For Panthers Fans Only is a sports podcast intended for mature audiences and contains profanity as well as extremely spirited conversation. What you see and hear are the sole opinions and depictions of each individual, not at all inclusive of the entire cast or any guests associated with our show. Thanks for tuning in, and always remember to stand on business.
Nigga, just have my chocho ready. Shout out to the defense, too.
I would have remembered if it had messed my bread off, but it didn't.
This DJ active right there, this that new Hawaii. Let's go, let's go.
We tired of the standing online, waiting to get shine. Play the rule book while getting your jewels took. Look what we done spawned, flipping this turf John. Cause we ain't in the waiting for you to send the payment. Get yours. Cause I'ma get mine. 1, 2, 3 times. This how you make yourself at home and help yourself.
Here we go.
Y'all are misinformed about the bloodline I represent. The black bar ain't work on me, they messed
Welcome
up
to
the
For Panthers Fans
I
Only.
my door and found the password to get me in. Fought with the nothing and I won. My story never ends.
Shout out Haroy,
Focusing
shout
on
out
clowns,
Haroy, and
well
shout out
rendered,
Keith
you
Phillips.
directionless, stagnant at a mountain's foot.
What up, Gents? What up? What's top?
As expected, y'all
What's happening?
got the power. My
I'm locked in today. I'm not gonna lie, me and Terrence are gonna have probably a relatively heated argument. Just because I know, because I have somewhere where I gotta take us where I know.
For the silence for dead presidents is all that I am. You ain't never gotta question it. Thank God the light is
I already
out.
know.
Remember when
If
I
it
kept
makes
it in?
sense, then
I'ma
maybe I
get
won't,
mine
but
first.
most
You
of the
can
time
have
it doesn't
seconds
make too much
too.
I
sense.
think
So-
every time it makes sense.
No, not really.
Every time it makes sense, you just be emotional. You be emotional.
It usually doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect
Then
sense.
you're like, oh, bro, you were right. You were right. Yeah, I know.
That's happened occasionally. Have you played Madden 27 yet? Yeah, it's tracking.
Yeah, I've seen it posted, but I don't.
Yeah. I like when you can play the game and actually find a smash, find a record that you can low-key spin to.
Yeah, because I be turning the soundtrack off, bro.
Yeah, nah.
It be bad.
This one, we're gonna keep this one around. I think. Really, they should have opened the whole game to this one. It feels like NBA Street. It feels like NBA Street, like that throwback. You know what I'm talking about? The Volume 2 on the PlayStation. Yeah, it feels like that for real. Shout out to the guys. Shout out to the guys. All right, let's get into it. Is the timer set? Yeah. So then I'm just gonna say that I apologize because I thought you weren't gonna be prepared. So I'll apologize for that. But I won't apologize for real for anything else, just because I just feel like you just had this feeling that you just want to try me over the last like 7 days in a row. And I don't know why. I feel like I've been so friendly and nice.
It's just fun.
It's fun to rage bait me.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it, Terrence?
Yeah, I mean, I get some joy from it. It's pretty easy, though. That's why it's like...
So provoking me to anger, it brings you guys joy.
Well, it's just easy. You get triggered quickly.
It literally makes me feel like that dog emoji that I send that he's like...
So another question I have: what does it mean on Instagram when it says you share instance? I always get your notifications, Haley,
it's like,
of the
share.
It's like the little
there's a new tool up there. Yeah. There's a new feature where you can. It's like Snapchat.
Yeah, no, I don't need to be.
So I think it disappeared after what? How long?
I think 24 hours. I'm not sure, but you can only view it once.
Yeah, I don't need to be a part of anything like that. I don't even know why I get a notification.
Okay.
That's how you know we're getting old.
You might be able to go to your notifications and like turn those off.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to do that because I don't even. Is it like a story? Are you able to view it just like a story?
Yeah, but like only once. Like if you go to your messages right now, do you have like a little square on like the right hand corner, or like on the right side?
And this is exactly why you are a perfect fit for.
Yeah, I do have those.
The technology.
Yeah, if you click on it, like you see everybody. Those are called instants. But you can only look at it once.
Okay.
What the hell is that? Oh fuck! Oh, I gotta get off. I gotta get off.
So he just discovered a new toy, but you gotta get off of there, don't you?
But they can't see that you viewed it. They can only see that you viewed it if you react to it.
Yeah, that I don't like that.
Yeah,
I've never used that feature, and I don't plan on doing it.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
That sounds like some shit that just.
Yeah. No, I gotta pass up on it personally. It's a no-go for me. It sounds very informant-like.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It's not, because like if you're like me, you just click through them and then you're like, damn, I wish I would have like investigated that. So then you can't go back.
Okay. Fair enough. Welcome to the show. Welcome to For Panthers Fans Only. I'm your host, JJ.
I'm your co-host, Terrence.
And I'm Haley.
Can you say it louder, please?
And I'm Haley.
Thank you so much. What role do you play on the show?
Rage baiter.
Outside of that. Producer, camera woman. Like, it got to be faster, man. It got to be faster. It's been a year at this point.
It's a lot of shit.
Yeah, it is a lot of shit. I will give you credit for that.
Thank you so much.
Like I said, welcome to the show. If you haven't done so already, make sure to tap in with us on social media at For Panthers Fans Only on Instagram and TikTok at FPFO_podcast on Twitter. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in right now on YouTube. If you haven't done so already, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell notification on. Shout out to everybody that's watching live right now, 9 a.m. Eastern time, Tuesday morning. And you can connect with us on DSPs, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, For Panthers Fans Only, forpanthersfansonly.com for access to exclusive merch and giveaways. Join the Discord, talk Panthers football sporadically all throughout the day. Communicate one-on-one with me, Terrence, Haley, the rest of the FPFO team. So another wrinkle that we've added just to connect with our community. Super excited about some of the things we have going on. You haven't had the opportunity to do so already, and you're listening on the DSP or watching on YouTube right now, click the link in the description down below. Join the FPFO Road Game Experience. You and the plus one of your choosing have the opportunity to take a trip to New Orleans with us, the FPFO team. Game day tickets, hotel stay, flights, all taken care of by For Panthers Fans Only. Up to 5 entries for yourself and anybody else that you share the giveaway with. You get up to 5 entries in that regard, and give yourself the opportunity to take that trip with us in November. So super excited about that. We did our first annual one last year in Arizona. Had some dope winners. Had a great night watching the Bud Crawford and Canelo fight.
Yep.
Great trip. Outstanding night on Saturday night. And then, of course, we enjoyed the game on Sunday, even though the result isn't what we wanted. But hopefully this year will be a little bit different. So hopefully if you do win, you're bringing good energy and good juju with you. Not a shot at Dez and Cody by any stretch of the imagination, but we're 0-1 in our road game experiences, and I'm just hoping that we can put a crooked letter on, on the board.
Is it really 0-1? Because, I mean, I guess the Vegas trip wasn't really our road game.
Yeah,
they kind of launched it.
It kind of was. I was about to say the Vegas trip low key launched it for real.
Yeah.
Really, the Chicago drunk launched it. When we went with Dunk the first time, we kind of got a gauge for it then, and then we went to Vegas. Vegas, I will say, Vegas did launch it.
Yeah.
Vegas was a movie.
Yeah, Vegas was crazy. I don't know if we'll ever be able to get back like that again.
We won't.
Maybe NOLA. I don't know. I haven't been as an adult, so I don't really know the night scene, the party scene. So maybe NOLA. Do it.
For whatever it's worth, I don't have much confidence. I mean,
because you're scared. You're scared of NOLA.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily. NOLA is not my top choice of cities to visit. A lot of demonic beings and going ons down there. So yeah, I'm not really that pressed and looking forward to it that much. I'm looking forward to connecting with them and going on a trip with my friends and the food, of course, as they can tell, I'm sure. But outside of that, yeah, it's not somewhere where I would spend a lot of time. Let's just say it like that.
Nah, I feel it. Haley, are you going? Have we decided that?
Yeah, she's going. She's going.
Considering I don't even know the dates.
November 13th.
I don't know how many times we've had to say it. I've told you.
Yeah, your sister DM'd me and she was like, "Are you going in November?" And I'm like, "November." For some reason, I thought it was next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just move on. Let's just move on. We'll jump right into it. How much time do we have on the first timer? Probably about 10 minutes. 15
23.
Minutes? 23 minutes? Oh, perfect. The Carolina Panthers preseason week 1. I guess it's just depending upon how you look at it. I personally don't count the Hall of Fame game in being a preseason game as far as kicking things off. To me, preseason week one, where everybody plays, that to me is where we kick things off. And the Carolina Panthers had the opportunity to do that on Saturday. And unfortunately, as I'm sure you guys know, you've had the chance to watch the game by now, I presume, things didn't go too well. Things didn't go too well.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad. And this is where our argument is going to come in as we dive more into this game. I already know, because I just feel like, just based on your energy, I can feel that you want to ridicule and slander the defense. And if you want to do that, then that's fine. But I just know that I'm prepared to go take it there. If you want to take it there.
It's not a slander and ridicule, but I'm gonna I'm gonna be honest about it. There were some good things that I seen, but majority of it didn't look good. It didn't look good from a lot of levels, whether that was first string, second string, third string, or fourth string. Like, I don't think that the defense put on a good product. Now, if one wants to get into the argument of like the offense was worse than the defense, that's not even something that I will argue, because, I mean, for obvious reasons, that is true. But also, I'm not going to come up here and be like, oh, slander the offense, slander the offense, slander the offense.
That's what it should be.
And no talk about the defense. Like, I just think that's misleading, uneducated, and it's just not living in reality, because I think that both parts of the ball was bad. Like,
I would agree.
I think that's a fair statement to say both parts of the ball was bad, and it was underwhelming for both sides of the ball. And I think that if this team is going to be a competitive team, obviously we know that this is the preseason, but you're playing a team like the Buffalo Bills, who are consistently in the playoffs every year. They have the MVP on their side. Like, we have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. So you're going to be playing caliber teams like this week in and week out. And so for me, it's like, okay, if we want to show like the division, show the fans like that we can compete at this level, there shouldn't be a time where, preseason or not, obviously some starters were down, but there shouldn't be a time where it looks like we shouldn't be on the field with this team. Like, I just don't think that should ever cross anyone's mind if you're looking at a game what the Carolina Panthers are playing. And I felt like that at times of this past week against the Bills.
For me personally, I agree with what you said to a certain extent. I think for me, like, just my perspective on it, and I know that you think that I just suck off and ride, EJ, and really it's not that. For real, it's really not that. It's, for me, for the defense, because they showed us what they could do last year, it's not that alarming to me. It's not that alarming to me. J.C. Horner and Mike Jackson, they started training camp out injured, right? So they've had less reps than everybody else on the team. That's number one. Secondly, you have your two main pieces at this point, and I say this with all due respect to J.C. Horn and to Derek Brown, and I'm just going to say the two main pieces right now, just because they're the big fish of free agency this past season or this past off season. Your two main pieces in Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd. This was their first time. Under a live whistle.
Well, I don't even think they look bad.
No, they look good, but also, like, I'm just, my point is that for me personally, when you add two pieces like that, there are going to be growing pains, and those are growing pains that you want to see worked out in preseason. So that's why, to me, it's a little bit different offensively, because everybody on the offensive side of the football has been here. Everybody that played with the starters, they've been here. Now, yes, you can get into the weeds of the offensive line look like complete garbage.
I think it's not even the weeds. Like, not to cut you off, like,
you're fine.
Although those guys have been here, but I mean, I think with certain guys that were playing on the offense, it's hard for us to get good quality reps with those guys being in the game.
Got to figure it out.
And with all due respect, it's not something that we should have to figure out with starting Chandler Zavala. Like, that, unfortunately, that's not something that I should have to figure out, because, quite honestly, we seen him actually get the quarterback injured last year.
That's very true.
He's going to get him killed if he continues to start. Like, first play of the ball game blew up in the backfield. And I went back and watched him. It was hard for me to find a rep that he actually won.
I mean, from a pass rush standpoint, I have the numbers right here on Chandler Zavala, because the first thing that I was going to say when we opened the pod up, I was going to go give my whole soliloquy. Hey, Chandler Zavala, Thank you so much for your services, nigga. It's curtains. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of weird people after the Hall of Fame game. I think OPM in particular, rather, he was like starting this whole like Chandler Zavala fan club or something like that, like gassing Chandler Zavala up. And I just, for the life of me, would never ever bring myself to do anything of the sort. I said he had a halfway decent game against the Cardinals in the Hall of Fame game, but I mean, with all due respect, it's relatively easy to do that when you're playing against third and fourth stringers, which is what we saw in the Hall of Fame game. I don't know if it's extortion. I don't know if I really don't know what it is, bro. Because if you even look at Chandler Zavala's origin story as it pertains to the Panthers, even the beginning of his stint in Carolina was extremely weird. Like, you go draft him, and it's just like, okay, I guess you go get a guard from NC State, hometown kid, whatever the case may be. But then we hear reports that, like, he's shooting texts to general man. I don't know if it was the GM at the time. I don't know who it was. I just know somebody in that front office, he's shooting texts to them saying, oh, yeah, I want to play football. Don't forget about me. All of this kind of shit. And the next thing we know, he says okay, and he's drafted. So, like, already, it's a damn it red flag. And then you take a couple of steps forward, and you look at what he did his rookie year, you look at what he did year two. We have two instances in which Chandler Zavala, from a PFF standpoint, has posted a 0. So like that coupled with the fact that like now I'm seeing reports today that they're trying to play him at center. I really don't get it, bro. I really don't get it. To me, it makes my hair fall out even more. It makes my blood boil. Right, because when you're trying to move forward and when you're striving to get to a certain level, you got to get all the bullshit out. And I say that with all due respect to Chandler Zavala, because I'm talking about bullshit from a play standpoint. Not as a person, I don't know him. But you got to get all the bullshit out, bro. And unfortunately, Chandler Zavala has shown you time after time after time that he does not have the ability to play guard, to play any position on the offensive line for that matter, at this level. Now, maybe he can go to the UFL, the CFL, you know what I'm saying, and compete and play at that level and then continue to develop his game or whatever the case may be. But as an NFL player, as an NFL offensive lineman, Chandler Zavala just quite simply does not have what it takes to compete at this level. It's really embarrassing. Like I said, I mean, I need Joe or Sheena or Vashti or somebody really to dig through this and see if he is currently extorting this organization, because this shit is, it's baffling to me.
Yeah, and like he has been god awful since he's been here, and I mean, and I'm not even trying to use that as an excuse of why the offense looks so bad, because one particular person on the offensive line can't cause the offense to look as bad as they look during that game. But I mean, when you have him and Rasheed Walker on that left side, and it's just, they're just getting mauled every single rep, every single possession. It's just very nasty.
Got his back, though. Rasheed caught a body, though. He got his back. He got his back. They were getting mauled, but he got his back.
Yeah, but that's cool. But, like, it's not something that I'm okay with seeing and knowing that this guy is going to have, like, he's going to be starting.
No question.
And so it's like, all right, like, it's not something that I'm okay with seeing. But
can I tell you something else? Like, not to cut you off too much. What's very, very alarming for me is the fact that this, like, the starters playing last preseason or on Saturday, and him being in that starter group, we're one injury away from him being a consistent starter on this team.
Who? Chandler Zavala?
Chandler Zavala, yes.
Oh, yeah, I know.
1,000%. That is scary. No matter if y'all want to acknowledge it or not, y'all don't have to. But that is very, very scary. And I think Brady and C-Mac, the guy that we got from Baltimore a couple of years ago, I think they'll be able to develop and be pieces. But that to me is very, very scary, bro, because it seems like they're trying to force this guy into this rotation, into this lineup, and he just simply doesn't fit. He doesn't have it.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what it is. But, I mean, like I said, offense was god-awful. I mean, when you only net, 17 yards when they were in the game, no first downs, there's really not any excuse for that. And it was, baffling to me because we praised Brad Isaac last week, and obviously different players were in the game, so I'm sure, I was praising him because I felt like he called the offense to the strength of the quarterback. And I was like, that's something that I feel like we haven't seen a lot of. And so I was happy to have him implement that with Bryce. But I didn't see anything of that caliber last week, even though it was they didn't play a ton. But at the same time, it's just hard for me to wrap my mind around an offense not being able to produce a first down.
So can I ask you a question along that premise? Do you think that is – do you think that speaks to what they feel as though Bryce Young is capable of doing? Because for me, there's no way – and I get that when your starter's in the game, you're going to go vanilla, right? Yeah. You're going to go vanilla, and if that's the stance, then I'm with it. But also with that, like, you can say you're going to go vanilla, but then when we look at the game last Thursday, that wasn't vanilla. That wasn't vanilla. Ass. Yeah, I mean, Thursday on the Hall of Fame game, that wasn't vanilla. Saturday, it was just, it was pathetic. And I don't know if I attribute that more to Brad Idzik and the play calling that he's doing or the play calling that's being had, or if it's more so like this is what we feel as though Bryce Young and this offense is able to accomplish and what they're able to execute at this point. Is that a fair thought process, or do you think that I'm reaching on that?
Well, the reason I don't understand that is because, like, statistically and, like, to the naked eye, if you go look where Bryce succeeded the most, like, since he's been in Carolina, has been outside of the pocket.
Agreed.
And I may be mistaken, but I didn't really see a lot of plays of him working outside of the pocket. Like, what made Haynes King successful in that Hall of Fame game was running the bootleg to either side of the field, being able to pick his levels, whether that's the running back, tight end, or receiver at the third level, and either him being able to make a quick decision there or take off with the ball. Bryce has been very successful when he's been able to do that in the league, as we've seen. I didn't see any play called to that caliber that I can remember. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I am. So that's what makes me think, like, all right, like, that doesn't really make sense how it could change that drastically if, from a fan perspective, we know that that's his strengths. Like, that's what made it confusing for me, personally.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. I think, like I said, it's just been very frustrating for me. And I thought we were going to have a spat, but I don't think that is needed because we've had this conversation on multiple occasions. For me, it's just very frustrating because I know how this fan base feels about Ejiro, right? Yeah. I know how you guys feel about him. Y'all know how I feel about him, right? I think he has the ability to do it at a high level, and I think that the years where he struggled, we didn't have the pieces. So for me, it's very frustrating when I'm seeing conversations being had on the timeline. I'm having conversations with you, even Dylan, in the group chat, right? And I keep hearing about the defense. When I know that this unit produced it went from being 32 in the NFL in 2024, absolute worst unit in history, all the way up to 18. That has to do something. Like, that has to do something. And then you add on top of that, you went out and got Phillips, you went and got Lloyd. So it's very frustrating for me when I continuously hear certain conversations about Israel doing certain things in certain situations, the scheme not being XYZ, when he's shown us, at the very least, if I have a squad that is serviceable and I have a couple of guys like a J.C. Horner or Derek Brown that can go get money, I have the ability to produce at this level. So for me, when you add those pieces, it's one of those situations where, okay, EJ, I know what you've done before you got to Carolina. I saw what you did last year. I'm not really worried about what y'all got going on because I know we got Mike, we got JC, we got Trevon, we got DB, and we got Phillips Lloyd. And Devin Lloyd. Yeah. So I already know you're going to do what you need to do. For me, it's a lot more alarming, and this is why, like I said, I guess we can dive a little bit deeper into this as well. For me personally, I haven't seen this offense produce at a high level. I just simply haven't seen it.
We've seen games. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen it consistently.
Yes, I've seen it in spurts, but that's not good enough for me because last year what I knew I could rely on is the fact that every single week I knew my defense was going to produce. And even if producing in that moment, even if producing is a couple of stops here and there on third down against a high-power offense like a Dallas Cowboys, right, like a LA Rams, you called a couple of turnovers. Even if I classify it as being that is producing, I knew every single week I went into the game, I was confident that my defense was going to produce and give us an opportunity to win the games. I have never had, since Bryce Young has been quarterback, right? I have never had that sense of security in this unit, which is why, for me, it is a lot more alarming that the offense looked the way that it did, unable and incapable of putting together a drive that resulted in a first down for 3 consecutive drives, 3 consecutive 3-and-outs. Yeah, that, for me personally, when I'm looking at a group that was ranked 28th overall, that is going to be significantly alarming. Significantly more than the opposite side of the football that I know and have full confidence in they will produce at the very least top 16 in the league.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I won't argue if someone says that the offensive side of the ball, them not being able to produce, is a lot more alarming than what the defense put on. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment, and I won't argue that. But I think that if people are worried about the defense, for me, what I look at it through their lens is like, okay, some of the same things that we seen this past week were some of the same things that they struggled with last season as well. Even the last game against the Rams. And it's like, all right, if that's the last vision that I have of you on the field, and then also I'm coming to a game where a lot of the starters are playing and I'm kind of getting that same vibe, that same feel where they're giving up 60 yards in like 4 plays. I don't know if that math is correct. That's what it felt like to me.
I think that's about right.
And then I see like Mike Jackson just fucking, I don't even know what he was doing on one of the plays, just getting burnt down.
He said it was too tight, man. He told Vasta his alignment was a little too tight.
Well,
the alignment was too tight.
I could tell. Just getting burnt down the field and, you know, players missing tackles. Like, if I equate that to EJ over the past couple of years, and then, okay, I'm like, we got these new players, you know, it's a new feel in the locker room, and then I have to see the first game back where a lot of the starters are playing and that same thing is happening, I could see why someone would hyper-focus on that and be like,
they shouldn't.
All right, this isn't working. But I could see why, because you've seen it consecutive times in a row. Like, if you're going based on the last game against the Rams, then versus what we seen this past week, it's like, all right, some of those same things are rearing this ugly head again. So I could see why one would be hyper-focused on that. But like I said, I wouldn't argue that the defense looked as bad as the offense. But I will say that both units look bad. But the offense looked a lot worse.
I think that both units look bad in certain spots. But just like I told you on stream on Saturday, for me personally, again, you added 2 big pieces. Derek Brown wasn't on the field. You lost Nick Scourton. So you have guys getting reps that, you know, potentially in certain spots aren't going to be getting as many reps out there as well. So when I take all of that into consideration, and then I also take it a step further and say, okay, well, we are playing against a former MVP that has added a true number 1 wide receiver in DJ Moore. We know what James Cook did to us last year, and we know what he did over the course of the entire year, one of the better running backs in the NFL, right? So you take all of those things into account, and then you say, okay, well, in 2 possessions, 2.5 possessions, however you want to look at it, you were able to hold them to 10 points. That, to me, I'm going to take, especially knowing, and I know that you're not going to necessarily like this, and there's some people that are watching that might not like it either, but especially knowing that really it could have been 6 points. If we just stay disciplined in what we're doing and just secure the tackle and realize it's preseason, we don't got to do too much. All we got to do is wrap it up, and it's going to be a quick whistle, right? It should have been 6 points because that face mask came on a 3rd and 15 where, again, you talk about the yardage that we give up, which I understand that is alarming to certain fans, but also EJ has shown you that he is a bend-don't-break type defensive coordinator. And more times than not, it works out for us. So if we're giving up these big chunk plays that I don't think will be that reoccurring during the regular season because you're not going to be playing against the Buffalo Bills. You're giving up these chunk plays, but yet you're still holding them for the better part of what's going on to 3 points or less. For me personally, I'm going to live with that. I just am. And that's why, like I said, that's why for me, like I just feel a lot better today about my defense, knowing that I added Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd to a unit that was already significantly better than it was 2 years ago, than I do about an offense that hasn't produced consistently for the better part of the last half decade.
I'll say for me, like, I feel better about the new players that we bought in. I don't know if I feel that much better about the scheme in general. I would say for me that like I need a little bit more convincing there, but I think that what I seen out of Devin Lloyd and what I seen out of a Jalen Phillips, and if you pair that with a Derrick Brown, then ultimately I think we'll be okay in that department. But like I said, I still don't feel as great about the scheme and some of the ideology of like the way EJ calls his defense. But like I said, that has to grow on me.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. Diving into the stats a little bit here, I'll let you read the PFF grade since we had that whole little thing with Dylan today.
Perfect.
Kenny Pickett, 16-19, 98 yards, 1 touchdown.
Speaking of Dylan, can you read what he said in the chat really quick?
Do I?
Yeah,
oh, that's crazy. Why didn't y'all tell me?
I just seen it.
I don't know. I don't even know what it is, but we gonna rock out with it. Shit, we here now. That nigga is crazy. Okay, Kenny Pickett, 16-19, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. Also, by the way, as your job as a producer is to let me know, hey, talent, maybe you want to fix that. That's your job as a producer, but I digress.
Is it my job as a producer to ask you what you were doing?
Huh?
Is it my job as a producer to ask what you were doing?
In what regard?
To get that?
No. No, it's not. Kyle Trask, 6 of 9, 53 yards, a touchdown and an interception. That interception that he threw was, just absolutely egregious. I knew the play was dead from the time he says hike. I knew that play was dead. That cornerback read the shit out of that little weak ass screen. It got to be better execution.
You got to dirt it.
Yeah, something. Dirt it or throw it into the 5th row of the stands. Either way, those are turnovers we can't have. But then again, we're talking about a quarterback 3 that is probably going to be cut when Haynes King gets back healthy. Bryce Young, 3 of 5, 18 yards. Pathetic. Just pathetic, but we'll dive into it a little bit more because I won't put it all on him, but it just has to be better execution. Anthony Tyus, 4 for 28. Kenny Pickett, 3 for 16. Trevor Etienne, 6 for 7. Jonathan Brooks, 3 for 5. 1.7 yards a carry. Not going to get it done. Y'all can feel however the fuck y'all want to feel about it. A.J. Dillon, 2 catches, 29 yards. He was our leading receiver. Casey Washington wasn't too far behind with 2 for 20. And then just highlighting Jaseem Reed, 3 catches, 17 yards, and another touchdown, his second one in as many games. So I'm giving, to me personally, I'm giving Jaseem Reed the nod over that bunch of guys where you look at Jimmy Horn, David Moore, Mechie, Casey Washington, all of that bunch there. Right now, to me, Jaseem Reed is leading the charge in that regard. And defensively, Zakee Wheatley had another great game, 7 tackles for him. Isaiah Simmons had 6. Lathan had 4. Let's see if there's anybody else. Jalen Phillips had a hell of a game too.
Yes.
I think in 10, if I'm not mistaken, in 10 reps, he created 3 pressures, if I'm not mistaken. Had a sack. Really, it should have been a half sack. They did Presley dirty as hell. If it was the regular season, Presley would definitely be protesting that for monetary purposes. But nevertheless, great showing from Jalen Phillips. Devin Lloyd had a pop play as well, where he got the TFL on the run play. So I will say there were really, really bad things and there were really, really good things. I told somebody this past weekend while we were watching the game, and I think I told you this too. Preseason for me is a time for individual assessment. I'm never really pressed about what the team as a whole does, because it's just you got guys that aren't going to be on the roster. You know, your starters are getting limited reps. So I never really been one for hyper focusing on the results of preseason games. But from an individual standpoint, there was a lot of good things that I saw personally. How did you feel about that?
Nah, I've seen good things as well. Like I said, from an individual standpoint, I feel good about Jalen Phillips. I feel good about Devin Lloyd. And I think what was telling with Jalen Phillips being on that side is that it also allowed Princely to be able to generate a lot of pressure as well.
Yes.
And when you think about it, Pat Jones will eventually be in that lineup as well. And if you think about it, Nick Scorton would have been in that lineup. Even think about it futuristic to next year. Those are some bright spots there. And then You also see Devin Lloyd like head in that linebacker situation, and you feel very good about him being that field general guy. So those are things that, I feel good about as far as from an individual standpoint. But like I said that earlier, I feel good about the individual players. It's just as a group and schematically, like I need more convincing there. But solid play from some guys.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm Princely. I'm instantly going to Princely because that's a guy we've been very tough on. And I don't know if I necessarily want to say we've been tough on him. I've been tough on him because he got to chatting at the end of the year, and it's just like, okay, well, when you do that, for me personally, when you do that, when you get your opportunities, you got to show me.
Yeah.
Thursday, he didn't do that against the Cardinals Hall of Fame game. This week, Saturday, he did against a much better Buffalo team and a team that actually had their starters out there. So shout out to Princely because he actually balled out, in my opinion. We saw multiple pressures. Like I said, he had the half sack or the full sack, depending on who's counting them. Cam Gill is another guy that stuck out to me.
He's been consistent over the past couple of weeks.
He has. He's been very consistent, and I think that he's a diamond in the rough. I think that if we're able to keep him on this roster, first and foremost, he should make the 53.
Yes.
This is, for me personally, this is one of those situations where you don't play with this shit. It's actually very, very similar to Haynes King, right? They did it 2 years ago with Jimmy Horn, where Jimmy Horn was kind of teetering the bubble the entirety of camp. Then they ended up cutting him, keeping David Moore, and then I believe somebody got hurt, and then they activated Jimmy Horn from the practice squad. There's certain guys that you can't even play with. And Cam Gill, for me personally, right now, right this second, he's one of those guys where you don't even chance it. You don't risk it. He's a guy that has shown you that he can rush the passer at a high level, albeit the UFL, but he's shown you also in preseason when given the opportunities, he can get the job done as well. To me personally, he has a completely different dynamic to this edge room as a whole.
Yeah, no, I agree. He makes the most of his opportunities. You can see that he's more of a pure pass rusher. He gets to the quarterback. He's fast off the edge. And that'll just be a good guy to have in rotation. Like,
yes.
I mean, you can never ask for, like, too many pass rushers. Guys are going to get tired. Jalen Phillips is going to get tired. A Princely is going to get tired. A Pat Jones is going to get tired. Injuries start to rear their ugly heads in the midst of the season. We know Jalen Phillips has an injury history, so it's never too bad to have good pass rushers on your team. And I think Cam Gill is one of those guys. So I honestly think that he will make the team. I think he should. But, yeah, I like the way he's been playing.
Agreed. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't going to really say.
Was there anybody else that kind of jumped off the screen for you? I'm going to give Anthony Tyus his credit, too, because that was another guy that I was tough on. But, again, he runs the ball very, very hard. And he would be of consideration to be a change of pace back on this offense. But the giving the football up is just, it's not going to cut it, unfortunately. He has to get that under control. But I will say he has some really, really good runs on Saturday. Hell, even the run that he fumbled on against the Arizona Cardinals in that Hall of Fame game, it was a great run. Like, it seems like it's very, very hard for guys to take this dude down with only one or two bodies. Like, he's running through shit.
Yeah.
You feel me? But it's just like you got to hold on to that football. But for me personally, Anthony Tyus jumped off the screen towards the back end of the second half, because he has some really, really good runs.
Yeah, I would say another guy that stood out is probably Zakee Wheatley. Like, it's not going to show up as far as PFF grades wise, but he's a guy that comes up and makes tackles. Like, he likes to tackle. He's physical, and I think that's a guy that ultimately fits what this Carolina Panthers defense has been built on over the past couple of years since they've really been established as a team. He's going to need some work, obviously, but I think he's a young guy from Penn State. He's a guy that you can work with. He has a lot of upside, and I think as he continues to get reps, as he continues to grow and learn, he'll be a solid piece for us going forward. I really like the way he plays.
I agree. Go ahead with PFF grades.
So PFF grades, we'll go ahead and start with
top 5,
the
bottom
offense.
5.
So top 5 on the offense, we have Casey Washington with an 88.8.
Limited reps. It's very, not to cut you off, I'm sorry. It's very, very important when we read these PFF grades off to understand that everybody's rep share is different, specifically at this time in the year.
Yeah.
So Casey Washington may have played like a total of 10 or 11 snaps. So him being the number one graded person on offense, like, yeah, sure, kudos to him. But also you have to take it with a grain of salt to a certain degree. And like we always say, PFF isn't the Bible either.
Yeah. Then you have Kyle Trask, second, 84.8. And then Nick Samac, is that his name? C-Mac?
Yeah, Samac. Yep.
Samac, 81.
I call him C-Mac, but yeah, it's Samac, yeah.
81.2 at number 3. Joshua Gray, 77.8. I think he actually got cut today or got waived today.
Yeah, he did. He got waived yesterday. I believe he got injured, so they did that little injury waive shit.
Yeah. Got him out of there.
Yeah, made room for Darren Waller, which we'll talk about in just a second.
And then your boy, Albert Reese, coming in at number 5, 73.4.
Shout out Big Al.
Anything to say on that?
Yeah, shout out Big Al. Okay. The only thing that we ask, and this is like one of the situations where I talk about this all the time, we're always only talking about what you show us on film.
Yeah.
We're never making it personal. It's never one of those situations where we just instantly hate a guy. It's never one of those things. It's either do you have the ability to do the job or don't you? And Albert Reese, the first week of preseason or the Hall of Fame game, he showed me that he didn't quite necessarily have what it takes.
Yeah.
That's what he showed me. This week, he showed me something a little bit different, so we'll see as the summer goes on.
And then you have your bottom 5 for offense. Ryan Hayes, 50.6. Jake Curhan, 48.8.
Christ almighty.
Elijah Cooks, 46.8. He probably won't make the team, another receiver. Miles Davis, 45.6. He had a good run in the Hall of Fame game, but, you know. Another guy that you don't want to see all the way at the bottom of the list, Luke Fortner, 44.1.
Yeah, it was tough sledding for Luke. Tough sledding. We might have to start having a conversation. But, I mean, realistically, what are you going to do?
You don't have another option.
You can't go to Sam.
Yeah.
He showed you he ain't ready yet neither. He's very, very raw. And Samac, it seems like he's going to have to do some work offensive guard-wise. Because where was Chandler Zavala?
Oh, he wasn't too far from the ball.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I mean, he got to, damn it, be close to that overall 52.1?
Yeah, 54.1.
54.1. This is just some additional stats to continue the Chandler Zavala conversation. 2 penalties, 6 pressures allowed, and I think that was on 6 dropbacks. I mean, that for you to get beat 100% of the reps that you're on the field,
nasty.
That is disgusting, bro. That's why I said it has to be extortion, bro. It has to be extortion. There's something to that. That has to be investigated. That has to be investigated, bro. It really does. It's very, very similar to David Moore, but at the very, very least, at least we know that David Moore can produce a little bit. At least we know he can produce a little bit, and David Moore is not going to produce any 0 PFF grades, and 100% of the dropback reps that he was on the field get rammed. It's nasty. 4 hurries allowed, 6 pressures allowed, 54.1 overall PFF grade with 2 penalties. It's just not going to cut it, bro. It's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it.
I'll go to the defense. Top 5, Jalen Phillips at 1, 88.9. He played very well in his limited snaps. Trevin Wallace, 80.8 at 2.
Shout out Trev. He's ahead. He's ahead right now.
He's ahead of Claude.
He's ahead right now. Claude. Actually, I think Dylan just sent the depth chart, so we'll dive into that in a second. But go ahead, continue.
Devin Lloyd at 3, 79.1. Caleb Evans at 4, 75.8. And Kyan Bars at 5, 71.6. Cam Gill fell right outside. He was at number 6 with a 70.7. Princely was in top 10 with a 67.9. We'll go to bottom 5. So we have Corey Thornton, 35.1.
Yeah, it's been. Let me just say this really, really quick. Hey, Corey, I know we gassed you up on this podcast. I've been pounding the drum for you to get more reps and opportunities, but nigga, it's been very desolate this summer. It's been every time I turn on the one-on-one film, cock is being placed. We go out in a live game setting. You gave up the touchdown in the Hall of Fame game this week. There was a couple of chunk plays responsible in your zone that you were responsible for. Corey Thornton, you got to wake up. You got to wake up because the more and more time goes on, if you show me you can't do it, well, damn it, Will Lee got to work it out. Simple as that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Do you have Tyler Funderbuck right below?
Thunder.
Thunder.
What Thunder do?
31 points.
Oh, shit. Hey, it's Kurt. Hey, Thunderbunk. Thank you so much.
Actually.
What is his name?
Tyreek Funderburk.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not trying to be no disrespectful to nobody's name or nothing like that. We call him Thunder on the podcast. Hey, Thunder, thank you so much for your services, nigga. We're going to send your film off to a couple of teams in the UFL and in Canada. Maybe they'll be able to develop you a little bit better than we have the time to do right now. Hey, shout out to you. We appreciate the body, but yeah, he don't got it. He don't got it.
Do you have Jeremiah Moon at 30.4? Then Cam Miller at 30.2. And then Bobby Brown holding down the bottom at 29.8.
I mean, Christ, hey, shout out Bobby Brown, but that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it.
Claude, 36.7.
And Claude, they give you a perfect opportunity. Canales comes out and says, hey, this nigga Trevor, oh, he didn't say this nigga. My fault. My bad. First and foremost, he didn't say that, but I'm going to give the JJ translation. Hey, this nigga Trevor Wallace, he been starting for 2 or 3 years. He don't seem like he can get the job done. We're going to give Claude a shot. Soon as Claude get on the field and get his opportunity, what was it?
36.7.
Piss down his leg. Piss down. Hey, I'm telling y'all, man, if niggas aren't ready for the moment this season, they got to beat the fucking roll, bro. I'm telling you, I have a zero tolerance policy this year. I'm letting everybody know. It just can't. If you can't get the job done and you can't do it, you gotta beat the roll. Shout out Trevin Wallace. Trevin Wallace answered the bell. That nigga's job. They said, yeah, we don't know how secure it is. He got the opportunity under a live whistle, and he got money for whatever it's worth. As much money as Trevin Wallace can get, he got his shit on Saturday. So shout out to Trev.
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to get it done. And just to clarify very, very quickly, my apologies on that when you said something about Joshua Gray. So Joshua Gray was actually cut to guard. He was waived to make room for Darren Waller on Monday, and Nick Hampton was waived off of injury reserve. So that was who got waived due to injury. But just Joshua Gray ended up getting cut and released for Darren Waller. Let's dive into that a little bit more because I feel like we didn't give it enough time when we were on stream and the news had initially broke. I think it had broke like a day or so before we went on stream. Tell me a little bit more about that because like I've said this a time or two, and my stance remains the same. I believe that this move was a direct move and a direct shot at Jatavion Sanders. I believe that this move doesn't change anything outside of Jatavion Sanders. I believe that Tommy and Mitch stay at 1 and 2 just for the time being until Darren Waller gets his conditioning under control, gets back into game shape. I think that then we'll see a bit of a fluctuation with 1 and 2 because I think he has the opportunity really to be tight end 1, if I'm just being honest, just based on what he produces or based on what he has the ability to produce in the pass game. I believe Felipe Franks makes this team. I still believe Felipe Franks makes this team based on what he offers from a special team standpoint, as well as just seeing what he's done with his opportunities this season or this preseason thus far. He's only produced a couple of catches, but when the ball is thrown to him, he's catching the ball and he's getting yak.
Yeah.
It may not be much, but it's something. And so I think this move was a direct shot at Jatavion Sanders. Hey, you got to get your shit together, and if you can't, we're going to move on. That's how I feel about this signing. Unfortunately for Jatavion Sanders, I believe Darren Waller has the ability to beat him out. This is a very, very tall task and an unfortunate name that you have to prove your case against. But at the end of the day, we have to do what's best for the team. And right now, it just doesn't seem like, unfortunately, Jatavion Sanders has been able to return to form to what he looked like his rookie year before the neck injury. So unfortunate situation in that regard, but I personally love the signing and bringing in Darren Waller. Monday they announced that it's official. We haven't gotten numbers yet up to this point, and it's right now it is 7:02 on Monday afternoon, and obviously once you guys hear this, maybe things will change when we release at 9 a.m., but right now, I mean, no monetary number attached to it, but I would assume that with it being a one-year deal, it's probably a prove-it deal. But how do you feel about the decision to bring in Darren Waller?
I mean, regardless of who the decision was tailored towards, whether that's Jatavion Sanders, as you believe it is, whether that's Mitch Evans or Tommy Tremble, we've been talking about We've been talking about this for a while when it comes to the tight end room. They just don't have it. Like, the tight end room has been wide open for a very long time as far as for guys to come in and take their spot and take over that number one role. And respectfully, no guy has emerged as that number one tight end as we have it. So I think that bringing in a veteran like Darren Waller in to shaking everything up, I mean, I like it. They always say challenging a roster. This is a perfect person to challenge the roster. And I've been saying, like, for years since we drafted Bryce, that it's always been alarming that as a rookie quarterback, or a new quarterback coming in, rather, going back to his rookie year, like, they thrive a lot when they have a tight end who can catch the ball. When they have a guy that they can trust outside of just a running back or outside of having to push the ball downfield to the receivers.
Like an Adam Thielen force-feeding him.
Yeah, exactly. You need to have a tight end who's reliable. You need to have a tight end who can stretch the defense. You need to have a tight end who can catch and who you can trust in a lot of those situations, especially situations where you have to scramble outside of the pocket and the tight end is running a flat route or running a little slant route or a little check down route. And we haven't had that. We haven't had it at a consistent level. And so I think bringing Darren Waller in, he serves as that piece. We know what Darren Waller was in his prime. We even seen him over a small sample size of last year to where he put 2 touchdowns on us. He had 6 touchdowns in total, I think, which was
in limited game. I think in only 9 total games.
Yeah, 9 games, which was, a lot for a lot of the tight ends in the league. So he's still able to produce. So I think that this is a perfect pickup for a guy like Bryce, who we would assume is in a prove-it year, who's in a contract year, so to speak.
Yes.
But, I mean, also
1,000%.
It does nothing but help this offense. Like, we talked about how pedestrian the offense looked this past Saturday. Now, obviously, I don't think one person is going to come in and fix that necessarily, but I think that Darren Waller does add some more options for this play calling for a young quarterback like Bryce Young. And, I mean, that tight end one spot is up for the taking, and I think that eventually Darren Waller will overtake that.
Yeah, and you made a valid point. And I'll just reemphasize the point that I made off of some of the things that you said. At the end of the day, the only thing we want to do is challenge this roster and make sure that we're going into war with the guys that give us the best shot to win.
Yeah.
And I believe that right now in this moment, and of course, this is going to be a loaded statement given the fact that we haven't seen much from Darren Waller specifically in the Panthers uniform. But right now, I believe Darren Waller is a better option for your offense, what you're trying to accomplish from an offensive standpoint, than Ja'Tavion Sanders. And that's no dig or slight at Ja'Tavion Sanders, because he's been one of the guys on this podcast that we've supported. Yeah. We've talked about the injury and how unfortunate it was. That game, that Kansas City Chiefs game, before he got hurt, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he had 2 catches back-to-back on that drive, one of them being a pop play. And I think that's the play, if I'm not mistaken, that he got injured on, right? Yeah. And so you hate to see it. But we've supported him throughout his time in Carolina. We've given him a good amount of time to recover from that injury, right? Because he ended up coming back at the end of the year, his rookie season. Then he came back last year, and he was a shell of himself. And for whatever the reason may be, the coaching staff has determined up to this point in the summer, he's been tight end 3. So all of those things being taken into consideration, right now, it just seems like Darren Waller is that guy like that you speak of that has the potential to be a security blanket, a consistent security blanket for a younger quarterback and a Bryce Young that is in a prove-it year. I mean, there's no question to me in my mind that this season is going to be what defines Bryce Young's career as it pertains to the Carolina Panthers. Yeah. You either have the ability to get it done and produce at the level we need you to produce at for us to be a consistent playoff team, or you just simply don't. And if you don't, then we may take your 5th-year option. We may consider, giving you a 2-year extension, whatever the case may be, but it'll be a minimal monetary value. And we're going to definitely, with how deep this draft class is at quarterback 2027, we're going to go ahead and explore additional options and bring in a quarterback as well. So this is by far a make-or-break year for Bryce Young, in my opinion, for more reasons than one, and in more areas than one, because I think this is going to define how he's remembered as a Carolina Panthers quarterback. And you want to make sure that you're giving him the best option to be successful.
Yeah, and I think they've done that. Obviously, the injuries have been unfortunate, not anything that he or the coaching staff can control, but I think they done a relatively good job in surrounding Bryce with the weapons that he needs, because it looks a lot better than it did his rookie year, obviously, where he had no weapons.
For sure.
And so I think they've given them a lot of weapons. And going back to Jatavian Sanders, him and Darren Waller kind of have the same play style. Like Jatavian Sanders, he was bought in to be able to stretch the field. He was bought in to be a vertical stretch or a vertical threat tight end, the same role that Darren Waller serves in. So, I mean, the way that this looks for Jatavian Sanders, he can either make the most out of his opportunities now that he has in the preseason, or if he somehow finds a way to stay on this roster, hopefully Darren Waller can be a good mentor for him.
Sure.
I mean, because, that's kind of his similar playing style. So it's like,
I don't, for whatever it's worth, I don't think that both of those guys make this team. I think it's one or the other. I just don't see a world in which, because I spoke about Felipe Franks and the value that he provides from a special team standpoint, right? We understand that this coaching staff values that significantly. So I'm not locking Felipe in, but just for this hypothetical situation, I'm gonna lock Felipe Franks in. Okay? Tommy Tremble, he's a guy he's just not moving. For whatever reason, they're infatuated with this nigga. I don't know why, and I say that with all due respect. My apologies. My apologies. I say that with all due respect. I don't necessarily know why they're infatuated with him, because he hasn't shown me, but maybe they're seeing something that I'm not. That's why they get paid millions and I don't, to do what they do. So we're going to say Tommy Tremble is locked in. Then you take a look at Mitchell Evans. For me, in the tight end room, it seems as though Mitchell Evans has been having the best camp amongst tight ends that have been available to us at this point. So I'm assuming that he's locked in as well. So then you're left with this tight end 3 position, where Darren Waller and Jatavian Sanders reside right now. And I just don't see a world in which you have the amount of depth you do in your wide receiver room and you keep 4 or even 5 tight ends if the hypothetical includes Felipe Franks. So I don't believe that both of these guys make the roster. I think that this is a one-on-one matchup, a one-on-one showdown. Whoever can get the most money in this amount of time, that's who we're going with. I think that's what the situation is right now. I really do.
I mean, yeah, and even if that's the case, like I said, I think everybody has had their fair shot in that room in particular. So whatever they decide to do with it, I'm fine with it.
Sure. Just a quick little tidbit here, because I know another conversation that we've had a time or two throughout the summer, and probably more than that, is about Kenny Pickett. We've seen multiple reports of him not necessarily producing and playing the best during camp, practicing the best. But for whatever it's worth, if you look at Kenny Pickett's stats over the first 2 games of the preseason,
not bad.
Not bad at all. 24 for 30, 154 yards in the touchdown, a 99.2 passer rating. And that is despite facing 29.7% or pressure, on 29.7% of his dropbacks. So, I mean, I know that we've said a lot about Kenny Pickett and we've had a lot of different conversations, and there's been, reports that he hasn't looked the best or whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to come in here and kind of give him his flowers for the job that he's doing so far throughout the preseason, in a limited amount of reps nevertheless. But I know a lot of people, including us, wrote him off after that Arizona Cardinals game. But when you look at those stats, and shout out to Mike K for putting that tweet out, when you look at those stats, that kind of puts things into perspective a little bit more, and kind of gives you a little bit more confidence in an unfortunate situation like a Bryce Young getting hurt and missing, multiple games or missing any games for that matter. So shout out to Kenny Pickett in that regard. Another thing, this was very interesting because this is another conversation that we've had, and this has really pissed me off over the years with Dave Canales, and it's kind of shaped it's been a contributing factor to the way that my opinion about his approach to the preseason has been. The earning reps thing. I will tell you, and I don't know if you feel the same way. I'm going to give you the additional context, whatever the case may be. I will tell you that Dunk finally made me understand what he means when he's saying earning the reps. So now I have a clear understanding, and I will apologize to Dave Canales, first and foremost, because I've been on his ass. About that Houston game, you remember he said, "Oh, they didn't earn it," and I'm like, "Nigga, no, they actually fucking did the opposite. They actually did earn the additional reps because we need to see more from this unit. We just simply do." The thinking is, you didn't earn reps, right? So they come out and they say, you have 10 to 20 plays. You have 10 to 20 reps, right? Dave Canales goes in the presser and says, "Well, in my head, I'm thinking that for me personally, it was always 3 drives. It was always 3 drives for me personally. They didn't earn the additional reps that they could have earned if they go 10 to 20 reps because they were only able to make it 9 through the 3 drives. So I have a better understanding and more clarity on him saying them earning reps now. It's not necessarily their play earning them reps or, you kind of holding like this participation trophy. Like if you're successful on these drives, then you get to earn additional. It's not that. It's just like, no, we have a set amount of drives in our head that you guys are going to play, and you have the ability to earn additional reps with you extending drives. So I have a better understanding on that now. Shout out to Dunk for kind of, leading me to the water in that regard. And thank you to Dave Canales for that little tiny tidbit and saying, 3 drives, because that was able to, off of that, we were able to put that shit together. So I just wanted to say that. Yeah, them niggas didn't earn it. They had 3 drives, and they proceeded to go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. At that point, the only thing that we run the risk of is injury. Yeah. I don't need to see shit additional from y'all today. Yeah. Because y'all just simply don't have it, and y'all don't have what it takes today in particular against this unit. So you had your 3 drives, and you didn't do shit with them. Not my problem. It's teach tape. We're going to get back in the lab, and we're going to go to work.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think that makes sense, more sense than what I guess we initially thought it was.
Yes,
but
1,000%.
I agree with that.
We just took a brief break. Me and Terrence are actually just looking at the Panthers just released their, I think this is their 3rd depth chart of the summer so far.
As of August 17th, so as of today.
Yeah. So as of August 17th, we're looking at the depth chart. Terrence, you pointed out a couple of things that stood out to you. For me, it seems like there hasn't really been any change. And I think that's kind of some of the points that you were making.
Yeah, I mean, still don't see any progress from Jasim Reed. And I know you came on and said that you think that just based on that group and the wide receivers that were on the bubble, him having 2 touchdowns in the past 2 games, that, he would kind of take a step ahead of those guys, but it doesn't look like that change has been made as of yet. And then another guy, Cam Gill, he's still behind Thomas Incoom and Travis Gibson. Now, I know Travis Gibson had a relatively good game last week. Thomas Incoom played solid as well, but I do think, like, just from a talent perspective and just production-wise, that Cam Gill is a better player for the Carolina Panthers than Thomas Incoom. Now, it could be because wasn't Cam Gill injured? He has a shoulder injury. He was on the injury report
today.
Yeah, I don't think he practiced.
I think he practiced off to the side.
Okay, so I don't know if that plays a part in it or not, but either way, it doesn't look like there's been much movement. Yeah. But those are the things that kind of stood out to me.
Zavala's still way too high.
Well,
Curhan. Curhan. And I won't get too much into it because that's actually one of the questions that we have today, just about the guard position. And I know that right now. I mean, it's a problem, right? And we're not going to do what we did last year and wait to look at the linebacker room and say, oh, shit, this is really a problem. No, we're going to go ahead and acknowledge right now this guard position is a problem because if you have a Damian Lewis or a Robert Hunt or, God forbid, a both, it gets very, very uncomfortable because Brady Christian can only play one position.
Yeah, I mean,
he can only play one position at a time.
I think eventually if that was to happen, I don't see why they wouldn't go out and get someone.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like that's like damn near
because you don't have it in the room from what we can see.
Yeah, it's.
I mean,
let's just pray for health because that shit is.
And if what they put on film Saturday is going to be a representation of what could potentially happen if those guys go down. I don't see how, as a front office and a coaching staff, that you can be okay with rolling that out the rest of the season.
You can't be.
Yeah.
You just simply can't be. And I will say, for whatever it's worth, obviously you're gonna have cuts happen. on other NFL rosters. Right. So you'll be able to pick off a little bit, bring some additional pieces in. But right now, that room, your hands are tied, and you have to bring somebody in.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling y'all, and I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, and I don't want y'all to think that I'm picking on this guy, but he just doesn't have it, bro. Chandler Zavala just don't got it, bro. And honestly, like he honestly, and you said something earlier, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of pushback. You said one guy doesn't have the ability to fuck off a whole unit, more or less, JJ version again.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I feel as though that if there's one person that has the ability to fuck off an entire unit, it's Chandler Zavala. Like, no cap. I think that this offense, if Chandler Zavala on the field, looks night and day compared to him not being on it. I despise it, bro.
Yeah.
I despise the fact that he even stayed around this long. And the fact that time after time I have to see Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt being down during practice, that shit makes me uncomfortable. Because we're literally that close away from having a season opener with Chandler Zavala being the starting left or right guard. That makes me uncomfortable.
I agree, but I think, like, as a coaching staff, if you know a guy is that detrimental to your roster, one, you have to either get rid of him, or you also have to design plays in a way that he's not really going to impact it as much. Like, because, I mean, at that point, what can you do? The only thing you can do is readjust. Like, it's really all you can do. And as a professional football coach, I have to be able to trust you that you can make those decisions. But, I mean, I don't know. He's not what we need.
Yeah, and even that, like, having to adjust your playbook because you have a guy in the room that has the inability to execute at that level, that is unacceptable.
Yeah, you just got to get rid of him.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really the only option.
Like, he's just too detrimental to what we're trying to do, man. And like you said earlier, I don't know if you said this here or if you said it on the live stream, but you can't even get a look.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't even get a look, man. Like, I know we talked about Brad Idzik in the play calling, the difference between the Hall of Fame game and this past Saturday, but you can't even get a look because we don't have time. Like, we don't have time to throw the football, or we're not fitting up in the run game, right? So we don't even know. Like, I smirked and did my whole little thing when we read off Jonathan Brooks' stats, but I would have to really go back again and dive deeper into how much of a role did Chandler Zavala play in the lack of success that we saw in the run game?
Well, I mean, that first play of the game, he was the sole reason that play got blown up.
When they ran a little dive or the ISO or whatever, he got mauled.
Yeah, he got pushed in the backfield. So it's like that was a direct correlation of that play getting no yards.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it for me. That's not going to cut it for me. It's just simply not. If you haven't done so already and you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Turn the bell notification on. Shout out to everybody that's watching on DSPs. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you want to, if you're listening or watching on a DSP, feel free to leave us a review, however you feel. I mean, we got a couple of 2-3 stars. We may have one. I don't know. We may have a couple that are 1 stars, but however you feel, just give us a review. That'll help us get in the algorithm more and all of those type things. So shout out to everybody that's tuned in all across the world right now. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and spending some time with us this Tuesday morning. Off of that as well, like I said, if you came in a little bit late to the live stream and you enjoy watching during the premiere, make sure to enter our road game experience. You and a +1 of your choosing, game tickets, flight, hotel stay in NOLA November of this year, watching the Panthers take on the New Orleans Saints. And, of course, join the Discord. Do that, too. Let's see. Where do I want to go from here? Let's go to Juice. I just sent my ticket. So you should have that. Yeah. I'm reading mine. So I just need to read it off of your phone.
Why? Why can't? No.
Because, no, bro, listen, bro, because I have to play the music, bro. I have to play the music from my phone, bro.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I'll read the ticket.
No.
Bro, what's going to be the difference if I read
mine? I need to read mine, bro, because I need them to know that it's mine.
I would tell them it's yours. It's very basic. I mean, it's very basic.
I can't even find it down. Oh, okay, there we go. My fault. Yeah, no, I'm reading mine, bro. I'm reading mine from your phone, bro. I need to read mine from your phone.
All right.
That's too much to ask. Just put it on D&D.
Did you start to? I don't care about that. It's just like it doesn't make sense. It's just too much.
Why are you so pressed? What's on your phone?
And I don't have
that shit. Makes me want to go through it.
I don't have.
That makes me want to go through that shit.
I don't have shit on my phone. It's just like
it's weird.
No, it's weird that you can't read it on your phone.
I can't. Nigga, the music is playing. The music that's playing is a screen recording. It's a screen
so
recording.
You got to do something different with that. That's the main issue then.
That in itself is ghetto.
Yeah. Like,
you ain't trying to get all goddamn day. We don't need that. What's ghetto? Oh, because it's a screen recording?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why.
Because there's ads.
Yeah, that's the reason why.
I mean,
but if everybody on the set wants to fucking donate $3 to the cause so we can get YouTube Premium, then feel free.
So you can't do it because of $3?
No, it would be 3 times 3, and I'll obviously add the additional money that it takes. I think it's like $12.99 a month. It's just a subscription that I personally don't want to incur right now.
$10. Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't.
All in all, bro, you got to get that fixed because this isn't going to be a reoccurring theme every week.
It is, bro.
The same way.
But do you not remember this from last season? He just made you read he made you read his tickets.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's trying to change it now though.
Well, I mean, because it just makes more sense. I feel like we're both here. Dylan isn't here to account for himself. But then again, I don't give a fuck. Read it, nigga.
All right,
Can we just go?
And read mine first. And you mute up.
No.
I don't know why you're acting like you run shit.
So for that, I'll read mine first. Plus 418. Chargers money line against the 49ers. Pittsburgh money line against the Jets. And then I have the Houston Texans money line against the Raiders. Plus 418.
That I'm not gonna lie, that's very soft of you. That's very pussy. But my bad, continue.
Dylan's ticket plus 436. Houston money line against the Raiders. Bears money line against the Bengals. Pittsburgh money line against the Steelers. It's funny that you say that's very soft to me, and I mean
it's a whole 100. It's a whole 100 points better.
Yeah, because you just flipped the Raiders and the Texans. I mean,
I didn't look. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold you. But if you want me to give you my honest take, and this is the reason why I'll say this. This is the reason why this is not financial advice. This is not financial advice. I picked like the first 3 games on the book, bro. I'm not gonna lie. This segment is not financial advice. This is just what we're doing and what we're putting in. And if you choose to tail it, then that's on you. This is not financial advice.
Either way, he said Mama Soft only a plus 100 more, plus 519.
That's a lot. That's a significant.
Vegas money line against the Houston Texans. I just had it the other way around. Stole mine. Pittsburgh Steelers money line against the Jets. And then he took the Indianapolis Colts minus 2.5 against the Atlanta Falcons, plus 519.
Yeah, that's my ticket.
Yeah, I'm currently leading in the standings, by the way. So if you want to actually make money, then you should.
You have 2, but you have like 2 more wins. You have 3 total wins on the year. Let's not act like let's just. I have 1.
Okay.
But I mean, that's better than some people that are participating that have 0. You know, I'd rather have 1. I've gone a whole season without a win.
That's embarrassing.
No, it is. But when I see one go through, yeah, nigga, I'm gonna feel a little bit differently. And last week, had it not been for just blazing. I don't know why I would ever put the Cleveland Browns on my ticket to do anything. But we got through the first 2 legs, and it came down to Saturday night, and they, of course, they didn't have the ability to get the job done. I don't know why I expected anything different. That's on me. So if you tailed that ticket last week, I apologize. But if you're unfamiliar with our juice segment, that is it plus 400 or better parlays, and they actually don't have to be a parlay. They can be a straight bet. But plus 400 or better. Me, Terrence, and Dylan, our content manager, we compete every year. We keep track, we keep tally of it all the way through the Super Bowl. Whoever wins, the other 2 must pay them $150. So that's a fun little segment that we've incorporated into our show. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here as we get closer to wrapping. Also, Vash got hurt. If you're watching on Tuesday morning, you're watching the show right now, Vashti Hurt will be joining us this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for a live stream. Super excited to get the opportunity to talk to her. We did a stream with her back in January before the playoff game, so that was a hell of a way to get things kicked off. And actually, I think it may have been before the Tampa Bay game, but a hell of a way to get the year kicked off for FPFO. So Carolina Bliss's own Vashti Hurt will be on stream with us tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're watching right now, make sure to set a timer. And if you're watching right now and it's close to 8 p.m. already, when you're watching on Tuesday, pause this, close it out, and come over to the screen right now so you can interact with us as well as Vashta as we discuss a couple of things about training camp. Let's go to Am I Doing Too Much? And that'll take us into our question and answer segment, or mailbag segment rather. Let me see. I think Dylan sent them over. Yes, he did. Am I doing too much if I say Chandler Zavala should have been cut Saturday night?
No, you're not. He should have been, but realistically, with the depth that we have in the room, he's just unfortunately not. But I think based on play alone, even based on what he did last year, then yes.
Based on what he did 2 years ago.
Yeah. So no, you're not doing too much.
Am I doing too much by saying Darren Waller is immediately tight end 1 on this roster?
Is immediately tight end 1?
Yes.
I think once he gets his conditioning under him, I think based on his resume and based on what he's shown us just last year, then I don't think you're doing too much by making that argument. But obviously, if you're telling me he's going to be able to learn the playbook very quickly, if he's going to be able to get into that football shape very quickly, then I don't see why he wouldn't roll out as tight end 1 on week 1. I could very see that as a possibility.
Okay. And then finally, am I doing too much if I say Jalen Phillips has the ability to break the franchise's single season sack record, which is 15, held by Kevin Green and Greg Hardy? Am I doing too much by saying Jalen Phillips has the ability to break that?
I don't think so. I mean, it all depends on his health, really. He's a guy that hasn't been relatively healthy throughout his career, but I think if you're basing on what you've seen on Saturday, you've seen that he was very effective in rushing the passer. He got to Josh Allen twice. He was able to get the ball off 1 time. But I think that also depends on the pass rushers opposite of him. If they are good enough to where they're not allowing the offensive line to double team Jalen Phillips and he's going one-on-one for majority of his reps, and then also having to worry about Derrick Brown in the middle, then I think that's a very realistic possibility. I don't think it's anything that's far-fetched.
Fair enough. Okay, let's go Q&A. Let's go Q&A since we're moving along. Okay, this kind of speaks to the conversation that we just had. This comes from Mike A from the Discord. Shout out to Mike. If you haven't joined the Discord, do that right now. You can click the description and the link down below. Did I say that right? No, you can click the link in the description down below. Sorry. First question for our mailbag segment. Do y'all think we actually bring in any guard help, or is Zavala making this 53? And we kind of touched on this, but the floor is yours.
Yeah, he's going to make the 53, unfortunately. I think the only way that you see him not, potentially getting cut from this team is if Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt go down during the season, and it's like, oh shit, Zavala is the only thing that we have. Then I think that's when you see them bring in help. But I think that as it's currently constructed, and as we read off the depth chart earlier in the show, he's going to make the 53, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's ironic that you said what you said, because the next question comes from Bloody. Shout out Bloody, one of our mods on the channel. If one or both Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt go down, what is your max win for the season? And it's sad, but it just speaks to what I just said. This is a player that has the ability to absolutely sink your offense to the bottom.
So what did I already have us at? 8 games?
I think you had us at either 8 or 9.
So 8 or 9, I think that if Damian Lewis goes down and Robert Hunt or both, and you already have Taylor Moton without significant amount of games, Icky is out for the rest of the season, and my win total instantly gets cut off by 2 wins.
I think that's fair.
I'm instantly probably taking 2 wins out of there, because there's going to be a game where we're going to play a good defense and Bryce just might be on his ass a lot.
Yeah, in a situation like that, the Carolina Panthers almost have to consider potentially benching Bryce Young to preserve his career. Respectfully.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds insane, but I'm not going to lie. If it's a point in which you're a game or 2 below 500, and then Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis both go down, and Chandler Zavala is a starting guard for any amount of time, we have to have legitimate conversations about preserving the life of Bryce Young. We do. That's how I feel. That is the place that Chandler Zavala has driven me to. We have to consider preserving Bryce Young's life if one of those two guys go down, and God forbid they both go down, and we're rolling out backup tackles on both sides and backup guards. yeah.
So are you gonna, if that happens, are you gonna change your stance about the offense?
If that happens, I will change my stance on the offense, but I will also, when I'm doing my end of the year assessment, I am 1,000% segmenting those two parts off. It'll be pre-Chandler Zavala and post-Chandler Zavala. And then my actual feelings will be what it was pre-Chandler Zavala. So my expectations are still the same.
And would you also, does that play into Bryce Young's contract talks?
Yes, 1,000%. It has to. It has to, because, I mean, unfortunately, I don't know what I think this may be Damian Lewis's last year under contract. I don't know if we're going to, because he was a top 5, I believe, guard in the NFL last year. So I don't even know if we'll be able to do what's necessary from a monetary standpoint to keep him around without restructuring and doing a couple of different things. So that's something that you're going to have to look at. But, yes, it's going to play into his role. It's going to play into his contract. And another big thing that is going to play into that as well is, God forbid, again, and we're not saying that we want this to happen, we're not speaking this into existence, we're talking hypotheticals. God forbid Robert Hunt pulls a last year and gets hurt in week 2. I'm expecting this offense by week 6 or 7 to snap back into form. Because at some point or another, just being Chandler Zavala with the amount of game reps that you're getting, at some point you have to figure it the fuck out. Either that or your coaching staff has to do what's necessary to hide him. And it's hard to hide a guard.
Yeah.
I will say that. It's
on the left side especially.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. It's hard to hide a guard, but somebody has to figure something out. So if it's earlier in the year, my expectations don't really vary that much. I'll just be honest, they don't.
I would say if I have to see a rep, or reps rather, than what he gave us on Saturday, then my expectations will vary. If we come out week 1, week 2, and we're rolling Chandler Zavala out, and I continue to see him get beat like a drum, then it's you're just not giving us quality. You're not giving us good looks. You're just not. You're putting us at a disadvantage. And if I have to step on the field and be like, oh, I'm automatically at a disadvantage because I just know every single time whoever lines up in front of you is going to beat you like a drum, then that's going to be tough for me to evaluate the offense as a whole. That's because you're factoring into the run game, you're factoring into the pass game, and then if you have the inability to pick up stunts and stuff like that, now we're fucking with the left tackle, now we're messing with the center. It's bro, you're messing up everything just on the whole left side of the ball. So it's
I think that the Carolina Panthers should do everything in their power for Chandler Zavala to never touch the field. And the first most obvious thing to do is would be to cut him. That would be step 1. And if you can't bring yourself to do that for whatever godforsaken reason, then we got to give Saymack a shot. Actually, let me see if I can find this tweet. Because this about sent me through changes in the middle of my workday, and I said I can't let the devil get to me right now, bro. I can't. Long story short, on Monday afternoon at practice, we practiced a little bit later today, 2 p.m. I think was the time in which we practiced on Monday, Tuesday no practice, joint practice Wednesday, Thursday off day, Friday game. There was a tweet that went out, and I think it was I don't know if it was from Joe Person, I believe it was, but just know on Monday afternoon there was a situation in which Chandler Zavala was playing center. Albert Reese was at right guard, and Nick Saymack was at left. Some shit like that. Go ahead and start your mock drafts for 2027 now. Because if I don't know what inspired them to put Chandler Zavala at center either way.
Maybe he's better. Maybe
he's better what?
Maybe he's better at center.
Bro, unfortunately, with all due respect, Chandler Zavala's ass. That is absolutely grotesque. When I saw that tweet, I said, "Oh, okay, I understand. We might win 3 ball games this year."
If they said the only way that we'll cut Chandler Zavala, JJ, you have to come in and tell him to his face, would you be able to do that?
1,000%. 1,000%. And I would say, Chandler, I say this with all due respect. You don't have what. Actually, if I had to be the one responsible to cut him,
Yeah.
or just tell him that he doesn't have what it takes. I could do
all
both.
the whole 9 yards.
I could do whatever they ask me to do. I already do that. We already do that. Them niggas be watching, bro. Like, them niggas be watching. So we already do that. But if it was in person, I would say, hey, Chandler Zavala, with all due respect, unfortunately, you're not exactly what we're looking for at this point in our organization and at this time in your career. So sadly, we're gonna have to move on. We need your playbook. I'm sure Chandler's about it. Hey, listen, we'll give you your references. We know that you're a great locker room guy. Don't fret. Like, if they call asking about you to us as it pertains to your personality and what you contribute to the locker room, don't worry. We got you. But we have to be honest when they ask us about your play. So unfortunately, based on where we are right now, from an organizational standpoint, we have to move on. Very, very simple. And yes, I would, because that's not disrespectful, it's not, it doesn't really give him much leeway to be angry or upset because, nigga, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me because you can't get it done. You shouldn't have put 2 zeros up on PFF in 2 or 3 years. And you shouldn't have got beat like a drum in a fucking preseason game in which we couldn't accumulate more than 17 total yards, and a large part of that was your fault. So, yeah, I think that I could do it, and absolutely. And even if I couldn't, and even if it got physical, I would sacrifice for this fan base. Because I'm sure he would put hands and feet on me. Because the nigga he big as hell. He was 6'4", like 3 something. He got it. From a handstand, if it gets physical, yeah, nigga, I'll sacrifice for the fit. But what I do know is after I take that ass whooping, what I know for a fact is that us as Panther Nation no longer have to watch Chandler Zavala, and that alone might be worth getting my ass beat. So yeah, 1,000%, I will 1,000% be able to do that. If for nothing else, for the fan base, like 1,000%, no question about it. But I'll be feeling like He-Man sometimes too. But then again, I just feel like that would be a relatively easy conversation to have. Because I think that Chandler Zavala wakes up on a day-to-day basis and just thanks God for the situation that he's in, because he knows in his heart of hearts there's no way in fuck that he's supposed to still be a Carolina Panther. So
I don't know. I don't know.
and if he's not, then I would have to question his ability to self-evaluate. But that's a whole deeper darker. So we don't even have to dive into that. But I'm just telling you, that's my opinion, and that's how I feel. So that's where I'm at. Anything to say?
Shout out Chandler Zavala.
Chandler Zavala, thank you so much for your services. And if you're watching this show, don't take it personally. Just get better. Because our stances have changed before, and they can change with you. They can change with you as well. But so far, 4 years into this experiment, we're off to a shitty start, brother. Not gonna lie. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure to tap in on social media, like, comment, subscribe, and turn the bell notification on. We will be back again tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time with Bastard Hurt from Carolina Blitz. And if you're just a full podcast watcher and you don't like joining the live streams or whatever the case may be, we'll be back next Tuesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, with more coverage of the Carolina Panthers. Appreciate y'all again for tuning in. You got anything to say as we wrap?
Nope. We'll see you guys again tonight, I guess.
Haley, do you have anything to say?
No.
Okay. Peace.